Hey guys, this is my 2018 Harley Davidson Roadster 1200. So I think it's impossible to have one of these and not do at least some mods to it. So I'm going to start with a few simple things, including the derby and inspection covers, and then just a few other things. Just all cosmetic this time, but you'll see that little things add up and really do make a big difference. So let's get started. So I've got bigger plans for this, starting with the exhaust. I'll probably go with something from Vance & Hines, and then with the air intake, probably something from Arlen Ness. So, for now, we're just going to stick with some cosmetic upgrades, but bigger things are coming in the future. So starting with the derby and inspection covers, the derby covers the big round one. I'm not doing anything fancy. I just wanted to match this textured black of the engine case. So these covers match. I think it looks a little bit better than the polished aluminum. And there might be a drop or two of oil that comes out when I take off the derby cover. So to kind of help with that, I prop the bike up on just on a couple books just to get the lean angle up a little. And there might still be a drop or two, but it's not a big deal. And this is one of the easiest cosmetic mods you can do. So what I'm going to do basically applies to all of the Evo Sportsters. I mean, even going back prior to 2010, they're all basically the same. And it all kind of comes down to, do you have mid controls or forward controls? So I've got mid controls. So I'm going to have to remove this foot peg so I have full access to get this cover off. If you have something like the 48 with forward controls, it won't be in the way, and then it's more straightforward. But this is very easy to take off. There's just a couple bolts underneath, and it comes right off. So again, very easy to take off. Just these two bolts here. And I think they have a little Loctite on them, so they're a little tight. But again, this is very easy to take off. So I'm going to start with a small cover just because it's a little easier. And then we'll take off and replace the derby cover. And these are the two screws, and just remember there are two little O-rings on each screw, so make sure you don't lose those. So there's the new cover, and you can see it perfectly matches the textured black of the engine case. It's going right there. You can see there's a gasket right there, but the bike has very low mileage, so I'm just going to reuse this gasket. If you have an older bike, you'll want to replace it, but I've done this before on low mileage bikes. I've never had an issue reusing this particular gasket, so I'm just going to go for it. Just alternate back and forth, don't tighten one all the way down and then do the other one, just kind of alternate. And just snug, just like that. And that's it. Now, for something like this, I don't really use torque specs. I mean, if I was doing the whole case, then yes, I would. But for this, just make it snug, not too tight, just nice and snug, and it should be fine. I like to just keep all the screws in order so they just go back exactly where they were. Probably does not make a difference, but that's just how I like to always do this. All right, these covers can sometimes be a little bit of a pain in the ass to get off. It's kind of tight on there. And never take a screwdriver and start kind of trying to pry there because you might damage the case. So I'm going to run upstairs and just find like a plastic putty knife or something that I can just work this thing off real quick. My assistant finally showed up. Where have you been? All right, so I used my Harley Hog membership card, and as soon as I kind of slipped it between the engine case and the cover, it started to move. So it actually wasn't that tight. It just needed something just to give it a little nudge. This O-ring right here is also in perfect shape. I put my finger in there and just got a little slick of oil and just put a slick of oil around on the ring, but it looks and feels fine. So I'm just going to go ahead and reuse this O-ring as well. Again, if you have an older bike, probably a good idea to replace it. But just given that this bike has low mileage and just given the condition of this O-ring, I'm not going to worry about it. So on the new cover, there's a little notch right there that goes where the clutch cable is. So just make sure you put it on so that notch lines up. And also this spring just needs to seat right into that groove right there. And you can sort of feel when the spring kind of goes home into that groove on the cover. All right, so now the screws are on there very loosely, just enough to hold it in place. So to tighten it down, you stagger it. So you go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And I'm not going to kind of do it all at once. I'm just going to sort of make them tight, then go back and tighten them a little bit more. And again, I'm not going to use torque specs on this, just nice and snug, not too tight. And now you just put the foot peg back on and you are good to go. Just those 2 bolts. I know it's just such a minor thing, but I just think it makes such a difference. I mean, the left side looks so much better. All right, the next thing is actually very minor, and it's that screw right there holding this bracket of the seat on to the fender. And what I did was I have another one. It's a screw and a washer, and I painted it satin black with just a Rust-Oleum. It's kind of a paint primer all in one. And I think it's going to look really good. It'll just kind of blend in. So you'll just have that screw right there that just holds a little bracket that's under you can see it right there, that's under the fender. And then this one will just kind of blend in and just disappear into that bracket. It's very minor. I don't even recommend you wasting your time with it, but I think it's going to look cool. It's going to look cool, and it's just sometimes it's just the little things in life.
You are so odd.
And I want to let the paint dry for 24 hours, so I'll come back and wrap this one up tomorrow. And the last thing I'm going to do is just swap out this timer cover right there that says 1200. I mean, it looks cool and it's great. It matches the air intake cover, but I've got, if you look at the older Sportsters, like going all the way back to the Nightster 1200, before 2010, and then the early 48s, what they have is it's a black background and a silver 5, for 5-speed. And I've always liked those, and I like the way it looks on these black engine cases. So let's swap this out real quick. And this literally could not be easier. So not real tight, just, snug, and it's fine. I kind of have a little bit of a sentimental thing about these older timing covers, and it just looks great on these black cases, blends in well, kind of matches a little glossy black of Roadster right there. I dig it. I think it looks good. I think my assistant has had enough. He's out of here. All right, we're back.
We're back!
So it's been 24 hours, so let's get the painted black screw on. So I never liked the OEM screw. It was just kind of big and clunky, but it did have a lock washer that kind of went in between, you can see the bracket and the top of the threads. And I don't know what happened to it, and the one I have is a little bit too wide to fit in there. So what I'm going to do is just use just a little spot of Loctite on the screw, and that'll keep it from rattling out, but it'll still be easy to take out. And you know, I never take this seat off, like rarely, so it doesn't really matter. So just a little bit of Loctite, it'll keep the screw secure, but it will still be, you know, relatively easy to take out. So you can see just a spot of Loctite right there on the top of the threads, and that's plenty. And there you go. I think it looks great. You know, it looks OEM. I mean, it probably should have come this way. Looks really good. You know, again, it's the little things in life. All right, guys, so that wraps up this first round of mods. And again, it just shows that, you know, little things, not a lot of money, you know, just cosmetic changes can really make a difference. I mean, just looking at the 5 timing cover, you know, it looks cool, and it really does make a difference on the right side. And the same with the derby and inspection covers, and even that little black screw. I'm digging it. And but you know, in the future, as I said, an exhaust is coming. I mean, you know, so bigger, better things. So that's it for now, but I'll be back.
I'll be back.
So I've got 4 bikes now that I'm kind of packing into a parking space. So we got the Ducati and the Harley and the Suzuki, and then behind the Suzuki, just sort of pinned in there, is the Royal Enfield, and that is coming up. That's going to be my next video, getting this thing sorted out. So if you're new, definitely stick around and subscribe. A lot of cool stuff is coming up. And please hit the like button. It always helps the channel. And until next time, guys.